This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
A new year is full of surprises, but one thing is always predictable. Postage costs go up. Stamps.com gives you crazy discounts of up to 89% off USPS and UPS services. So when postage goes up, your business will barely notice the change. Stamps.com is like your own personal post office, wherever you are. You can even take care of orders on the go with the mobile app. No lines, no traffic, no waiting. Schedule package pickups, automatically find the cheapest and fastest shipping options, and seamlessly connect with every major marketplace and shopping cart. There's even a supply store where you can stock up on mailing supplies, labels, even printers. Stamps.com has been indispensable for over 1 million businesses just like yours. All you need is a computer or phone and printer. Take a chunk out of your mailing and shipping costs this year with Stamps.com. Sign up with promo code PROGRAM for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a free digital scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. That's Stamps.com code PROGRAM.
The TalkSport Fan Network is proudly supported by McDelivery, bringing you the food you love. McDelivery brings a top-tier lineup of food right to your door. No matter the result, you'll always be winning with McDelivery. Order now on the McDonald's app and you'll get rewards points delivered too. So that ordering today means some tasty rewards for tomorrow. Only via app at participating restaurants. 18 plus. Rewards registration required. Points only on menu items. Delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday night, and welcome to the Tilton Talk Show. As Blues hang by a thread above the bottom three, we're joined tonight by Chris Browne.
Good evening.
Alan Watson.
Good evening, and just a little shout out for the newly formed Sussex branch of the Blues Supporters Club. If you're watching, guys, welcome, and get in touch with us. I want to join you.
They won't have you.
Craig Courtney.
Good evening, and as Alan's just done the Sussex one, why not say good evening also to the Solihull Blues official supporters club that's recently been launched. And Alan, I can put you in touch with Sussex, mate. No worries whatsoever.
Craig, I think later on maybe we should give a shout out to all of the people.
I'll go through them all, no worries.
Yeah. Carry on, Paul.
Claire Giblin.
Good evening.
Mark Adams.
Good evening, everyone.
And back from his adventures is Mark Meredith from the USA.
Good evening, all.
So 3-1-0 defeats on the trot, no goals. Better performance on Saturday than last Tuesday, but that weren't hard. So where do we go from here, everyone? I'll let you start, Mark Adams.
Oh, I just thought, well, the last couple of games we've sort of hit rock bottom, haven't we? Going back to start with game Tuesday night, Middlesbrough. I mean, that was just appalling. I mean, I think from the first few seconds, I think Laird set the tone, didn't they, by kicking out of play, and it just went downhill from there. We've talked the last 2 weeks about how worried we are. I mean, we gave a score out of 10, but I'm a definite 8.5 now. I still think it's not over yet. There's still quite a few points to play for, but it doesn't fill you with hope. I mean, if Tuesday was 3 out of 10, I'd say Saturday was a 4. It was still just awful. Yep. It was absolutely awful. I don't know where we go from here because what you look at the team. We used to sing, didn't we? With Birmingham City, we fight to the end, but we don't even fight from the beginning.
Well, I'm old enough to remember when St Andrews was a hard place for the opposition to play. They used to hate coming here, and
now they love it.
At the moment, it's the easiest away game they'll ever have, isn't it? But we're gifting goals to the opposition. We've certainly done that in the last 2 games, and I will sort of say I did feel for him because I thought he played really well apart from the mistake, and he didn't really want the ball there anyway, did he? It coming in from some case from the drama, and he was also outstanding again, by the way, in the whole game. I don't want to criticise him too much, and I do really like Iwu and Buchanan together as centre-backs, but he just didn't want it there, did he? And he was kind of like thrown under the bus a little bit, and that ball really could have gone anywhere, couldn't it? It hit him on the back of the and then it just stops right in the path of their player to slot it home. And Claire, I mean, last 2 home games, I mean, what else can we say? It's just desperate measures now, isn't it, to say the least?
Yeah, I think it was a bit harsh to say we didn't play well on Saturday. I thought in spells we really did. I mean, we had 27 chances. We just can't hit a barn door. When your luck's not going against you, that's it. We've had 2 games, 2 mistakes. At this level, you can't be making mistakes like that. And they're mistakes that, you know, why are we passing along the 18-yard box? We're in trouble. Get it forward. I was shocked to see Jukovic not starting on Sunday. I think we just needed Route 1 football sometimes. Go back to basics, hit it off him. Hopefully Jukovic is okay because, you know, it'll just be our luck that he's out as well. I just found, you know, I thought Laird was horrendous on Tuesday and I thought they were a lot better on Saturday. But the subs was really strange, like George Hall at right back and Tyler Roberts. You know, we actually were building some sort of momentum. Then he makes all the changes all at once.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. It was like everybody was panicking. And the fact of that, you know, like Sunjic had that chance and it's just one of those things at the moment. It does make you worry. We've got 24 points to play for. We've got 3 of the main ones around us. We've got Rotherham away, Huddersfield away and QPR away. The problem is that they are away. That's what scares me.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, Leicester game, not probably a write-off. But the QPR game is a massive game. If we lose that, we are severely in trouble. And thankfully, the weekend actually went for us for once. Thankfully, the others lost. But again, it's still in our own hands. That's where we've got to be optimistic. It's still in our own hands. We've just got to start scoring some goals. I mean, Watford and Middlesbrough were awful. They were 2 of the worst teams I've seen down there. We could have steamrolled them. But our confidence is low. I mean, Ayew looked like he was about to cry at any moment.
Yeah.
I think the back 4 needs to stay the back 4. I'm fed up of every week 3 changes, 4 changes, 5 changes. Stick to a team and let them get some confidence in. We always have brought injury-prone players. No Pritchard again. You know, where are all these players? What's going on? Because we just look like a beaten team at the moment, and we've got to get some fight in there. Just get one of us like coming down there and we'll tell them. I'll go down in that change room and I'll tell them myself because I don't think they're realising. I was saying to some of the girls that I go with, I said, Gary Gardner is a Blues fan. Craig Gardner's a Blues fan. You've got some Blues fans down there. What are they doing? Because it's our club. We need to start saving it. We actually need to start giving them a kick up the backside and going, what are you doing? Give the ball simply. Bakuna drove me mad. He tries and does all these fancy flicks and all that. Just get the ball in the box. As simple as that. You've got to start going basics now. We now need soldiers. This tippy-tappy rubbish is not working. It hasn't worked for ages. And hopefully, fingers crossed, Mowbray's back on that Friday because he's our missing piece and we need him. Sorry for the rant.
No, that's all right. The problem is we haven't got much height in the team, and if you're going to start lumping balls up to Stansfield and try and cross balls in, and obviously Jukovic is injured now, but Alan, I'll bring you in a sec, but I just want to tell you 2 things that are grinding my gears at the moment, big time. One is Jordan James playing on the left. I think he's so ineffective out there.
Wasted.
And 2 is the players doing this to the crowd all the time. You know, you got to do
it to yourselves. Do you know what I mean?
That's right. They've got
to do it with their feet. They've got to do it with their feet, and it works both ways. You know, they've got to give the crowd something to cheer about. You know, and okay, we did play quite well on Saturday, but again we lost. So, but Alan, do you agree with the 2 things I've just said?
Very much, yes. I agree with everything that's been said. I remember on Saturday when that ball. Okay, it's appearing in front of you. Oh, this guy's in trouble here. What's he going to do to get out of it? And the bloke pokes his foot between the legs. Possible foul, but you know we can't clutch at that. And the ball hits his heel, and it didn't go anywhere other than the exact place that he would have wanted it. He didn't even have to take a touch. He didn't have to train stride. He just into the net, and it wasn't even a shot to beat the keeper. He just passed it into the net.
Yeah.
And I get a bit concerned about, we're all looking. Are we all looking for scapegoats? I thought our back line was tremendous. Apart from that one incident. Yeah. And there's two of them involved. Don't just blame the one bloke. There was two people involved with that. And why? And the Middlesbrough game, that ball couldn't have gone into bloke's path better. And it was a terrific shot. There was no luck involved as far as he was concerned. But I'll say I've got one positive thing to say, and that is 3-1-0 defeats, and we're still where we are. Now, the chances of that, if you look back a week ago, and if we'd have said we're going to lose these 3 games 1-0, we'd be in the bottom 3. Nobody would have argued with it, but we've lost the 3 games, and we're not in the bottom 3. Now, the games are running out now. Next one is QPR. We can't afford to get nothing from that. We certainly can't afford to lose, because that takes Queen's Park Rangers away from us. Saturday 6-0 Sheffield Wednesday. That actually improved our position over them, because we conceded 1, they conceded 6, so our goal difference improved. Stoke got beat 3-0 at home by Norwich, and it wasn't the best. I think the best result would have been if Rotherham had won, but a 0-0, they're going nowhere with 0-0s, are they? No. So I sort of sat on Sunday. I watched the girls. That was awful, and thought to myself, well, could be worse. It could be worse, but it's really clutching at straws now, because we're getting to positions. QPR is the first one. We can't piss about with that. Whatever tactics we use, up and at them, or slick play or whatever, we've got to get it right. And I looked at Mike Venus's face when he was interviewed after the game, and the man looks. If Tony Mowbray's poorly, well, this bloke needs a rest from somewhere. The poor man, he was sweating and he was grim-faced, and I'm thinking, I came over to the idea that maybe if Tony doesn't come back, we could do with some help somewhere, because poor Venus ain't cutting it, and he's suffering from it.
Yeah, what worries me is we just can't keep a clean sheet, and whatever could possibly go against us at the moment is going against us, isn't it? It's like we drove over a black cat or something, and Mark Meredith, these games now, coming up, it's just what worries me about QPR is we're going to have to score 2 to win. That's the way I'm seeing every game at the moment. Yeah. But yeah. I will say that Iwu and Buchanan and Laird and Drama is our best back 4, in my opinion, from what I've seen. And they've only conceded 1 legal goal, haven't they, as a back 4, really? And that was obviously Saturday, but Hull away was the handball, wasn't it? So, I think they are forming a good partnership. But love or hate Rooney, obviously, when he was here, and I had to mention him, but he had Jordan James in the 10 playing behind Stansfield, and he had him playing really well. That was probably the only positive thing that Rooney did while he was here. And I want to see him back there. I want to see him back playing there and firing shots from the edge of the box and scoring goals again like he was under Rooney. I think he got sort of 4 or 5 goals, didn't he, under Rooney's short spell here in games. But yeah, Mark Meredith, what do you think?
Yeah, firstly, I agree with everybody. Going back to what you said, is that's the frustrating bit. St Andrews was a fortress for so many years, even in the Premier League, and now it's like a candy shop, isn't it? People just come and take and
sweet shop, the sweet shop.
Yeah, what the hell's a candy
All right, sorry.
First warning.
First warning. But yeah, they come and take, and to be honest, I didn't see much of Tuesday's game because I was in San Diego, but I heard it was really bad. Saturday, I didn't think we were awful. I thought we had chances to at least definitely draw the game and probably win it with the chances we had. And the keeper made a really good save, I think, from maybe Malashi or someone. It was a
Yoshi, yeah.
Yeah, but the rest of them, they were just ones that.
What's his name again, Mark? What's his name?
Malashi, innit? Malashi. I don't know.
in the Jungle Book.
Nintendo character.
Everyone's on me this week, huh?
We missed you.
We missed you, yeah.
It's affection, really.
Yeah, that's what it is. I know you love me, really. But yeah, the other chances, it was like just every other week, those type of players you want the ball to fall to. Last week he scored a great goal, and we talked about that. This week he's got a one-on-one and puts it wide. Just like we say, everything's going against us. Two mistakes now have cost us 2 games. My biggest fear is we sit here most weeks and say the next game's a must win, the next game's really important. We've got 2 home games in a row, that sort of thing, and we're not getting the wins. And in all honesty, I hate to say it, I fear that we're not going to get another win for quite a while. I think QPR might overdo us there. I don't know. Pressure's on us big. We need to go in. We certainly need to press the reset button at some point.
Yeah. They've got a big decision to make, haven't they? If we do lose to QPR and our leader isn't back, then I think they need to have a rethink, to be honest, because if he's not back before the end of the season, I think we will get relegated at this rate. So...
I would now. I would bring maybe Spooner in there with him. Spooner's has been around a lot longer and knows the players. I'd rather bring somebody in from the outside, but if you're going to keep it in-house, then bring those people that know the players around you a little bit more. And I agree with Alan. I feel for Venus a lot because you can just tell that he's defeated. And he's a number 2 for a reason. He's been a number 2 for a reason for the last 15, 20 years. Yeah. So he's been thrown into this situation. And honestly, I suppose if you asked him in truth, he probably doesn't even want to be doing it himself.
No.
And that's the issue. And what I like is that the fans haven't really got onto his back too much during games. And I think that people try to understand that he's doing what he can do. But, I'm honestly at a 9 and 10 now in our scale because I just don't see the next win. And I hate to be like that, but I'm just week in, week out praying for a good game and then watching what we watched together over the last week or so.
I don't know how we didn't score on Saturday. I mean, the chance Miyoshi had, other than the one that was saved, the one that on his left peg, all he's got to do is curl it round the keeper into the far corner and he's just completely nearly put it out for a throw-in.
Well, and he put it across the box and Stansfield puts it in as well. It's that. Those key moments, isn't it, that it's just killed us. And then,
and then Sonic goes through, and then Sonic goes through and puts his wide as well. He's the last player you want in that position, really. I thought he had a good game. I did think he had a good game, though, at doing what he does.
I thought he was decent. He was decent.
Yeah. Go on, Al.
I just saying that we've had, 5 managers this season, and from day one, whoever's been in charge, our goal-scoring record has been putrid. The whole season and most of last season, me, 1 and a bit goals a game ain't good enough. You've got to have average closer to 2 goals a game. You've got to be able to score 2 goals every game. You can't rely on your defence keeping a clean sheet. It's great. I love 1-0s. I really do. Give me a 1-0. I remember a conversation I had many years ago with Terry Cooper, and he asked. We were talking about centre halves, and I said, I just want to go to the match and not shit myself every time the ball goes into our box. Just get some big geezer and head it away. And his answer was, I can't afford it. So nothing has changed in 20 odd years.
No. Craig.
And to capital, we've lost Dukey as well.
Yeah.
Was anyone on, Craig, I'm going to bring you in now, mate, and I'll ask you this as well, but was anyone lying wide awake at night on Saturday? And, just think, after we lost that game, I'm not going to lie, I actually lost sleep on Saturday night. I woke up pretty early in the morning on Sunday, and it was just, my head was just going spinning, and I'm starting to worry. I'm going to be honest, I'm starting to worry now.
Yeah. I was the same. I couldn't get out of bed.
No.
I was at a league.
That's just the cold in yourself, that is, Mark.
Hey?
That's the cold in yourself.
Yeah. Craig?
I mean, I'm forever the optimist, right? So I look at the positives and the takeaways from Saturday. I mean, firstly, we only lost 1-0 and we had plenty of opportunities to score. We just weren't clinical. The plain and simple thing is we just don't have a true striker and haven't had a true striker at the club for years. We don't have a goal poacher either. What we've got is, dare I say, people trying too hard. You know, Bakuna had opportunities to shout, but wanted to beat 4 players before he did. We saw it with Sonic. He breaks through the middle. He gets a great opportunity, and then it's on the wrong foot. But actually, he could have squared the ball. We had a couple of occasions when the crosses were put into the box, but they were just too late. And it's almost as though...
Or too early.
Yeah. It's just we're trying. I mean, it sounds really daft to say, but we're trying too hard. I think we need one of those, I don't care how it goes in, type of goals. You know, comes off somebody's backside, hits the post, and rebounds off the goalkeeper. You know, we just need something like that to bring things on. But, I mean, I look at the situation with Juco. I mean, first of all, that guy doesn't stay down.
No.
He doesn't know what it is. He blatantly showed to me that he did not want to leave the pitch on a stretcher because of the fact that he got up and he hobbled around the outside, right? I just hope that whatever that injury is, and we're still awaiting the scan results, but whatever that injury is, that he hasn't made it worse by doing that walk around. Do I think we'll go down? I still think we've got enough. I still think we've got that rub of the green that we've had this weekend.
Right, do you think we'll stay up if Tony Mowbray isn't back by the end of the season and we stay with Mark Venus?
Yeah. Because I still believe that we can beat those teams that we've got to play around us. You know,
away from home, Craig.
You know, sometimes that might take the pressure off us, though. I mean, by the time we play Rotherham, they should be down. They should have gone.
That's the worry, Craig, though. You know, they've got nothing to lose, have they?
Oh, well,
the way we're playing at the moment, I won't back us beating Rotherham.
No.
Play towards us, though.
If they haven't won in 15, they're going to beat the Blues, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? We're a free hit. We go, do you know what? You're really sad and disappointed at the moment. You haven't won in 14 games, but do you know what? Come to St Andrews or play the Blues. We'll give you the result. There you go. That's how it's like at the moment.
It is horrible to say, and it's not pleasant coming away and thinking, what's next? But what I will say is, it's 3-1-0s. We're not being pummeled. We're not being beat like Sheffield Wednesday were the weekend. We weren't beat that way by Ipswich. So does that make us a better team than Sheffield Wednesday? On paper, yes. I still think there are 3 worse teams than us. And God, when you look at Saturday, if we'd have got a win, you know, there was then 7 teams in and around those positions that were being dragged into it. So this league is mental. There's nobody can say you can't beat anybody. Who'd have said that QPR would go and beat was it Leicester the other week?
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't have called it.
Where did that come from?
For me, I just think we've still got that little bit more, and I believe Mowbray will be back for the Good Friday game.
Well,
I think he will be there.
Yeah, that changes everything if he's back.
Imagine the boost they get from that.
I know he ain't going to have a magic wand when he does come back and he's got to pick us up the floor again, like he did when he first came in again. But, you know, we need him so badly to come back. It's just ridiculous.
However, the 11 people on the field have got to hold themselves to account, because we're talking about the pressure on Mark Venus. We're talking about the pressure on Mowbray. We're talking about, you know, and I heard it even more than ever, which is totally disgusting, and I'll put it out there, the abuse of our owners and Gary Cook. Let's put one thing out there. He did not solely sack Eustace. He did not solely replace Rooney from Eustace. It's a board decision. It's an ownership decision. So get off people's backs. If you're angry, vent it against the team. Back them. Show the anger. Show the passion that everybody's got. Make it loud. It was like, well, we was in a museum. We were in a library the weekend, and it shouldn't be like that. You know, we need to back these guys. If we don't, that's why the players are there. And Paul, you know, you were saying you don't like the players doing that, right? how are they going to? You know, they can play well, they can do different things. It still doesn't G up the fans. So sometimes we need that kick up the arses ourselves. We've got to get behind them.
Thing is, for me, they can put UB40 on, they can tart up St Andrews, and they can do whatever they want. They can put fireworks on, but it's all about the results on the pitch, mate. That's the only way the stadium's going to fill. You know, you're not going to get bums on seats by making the stadium look nicer and by putting concerts on. And you know, if we are right in the bottom three by the time we're watching UB40 or whoever's watching UB40, then you know there ain't going to be many people at that Preston game. I don't think.
No.
Paul, it's great to hear you agree with me. You had to go at me the other week, but you've come round. Well done.
When I came back at you, Al, we still had Tony Mowbray, and I genuinely think that. And I think if Tony was still here, and this hadn't happened to Tony, sadly, you know, we wouldn't be where we are now.
No, I know, I understand that.
But just
I'll tell you something interesting. You said then. You said that you were longing for Tony Mowbray to come back, and you would feel if he was there at QPR, you'd feel 100 times better. And blah 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 blah. What about the players? I bet they are thinking exactly the same time. For goodness sake, Tony, get your arse back here quick as possible.
Yeah, because they shouldn't be though, should they? They're professionals.
Exactly, they're getting paid.
They're
getting paid to play.
No, you're right. As soon as they cross that white line, it shouldn't matter who's in the dugout.
I got paid for playing a sport, and it didn't make me a better player. It made me a more determined player, and I messed about one Saturday afternoon, and I got a right telling off. You know, you're getting paid to do this. Stop pissing about. Do what you're supposed to do, but that doesn't make you want to. You know, I'm talking about cricket now. So for me to really get fired up, somebody on the opposition had got to upset me, right? Then I'd give it. The fact that I was getting paid a few quid wasn't on my mind. It wasn't that important. I wanted to win the game for the game's sake, and to really get my mojo going. Then I'd fall out with the opposition, and then I'd play. And I imagine. I know we're talking about vast numbers in comparison, but one of these guys. You know, who's going to say, oh, you're going to kick this bloke up in the air? You're going to make you look a mug? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? That kind of, you can't say to a bloke, you're getting $5,000 a week. You know, you ought to play better. You have to get into his head. This bloke making you look a 12. Now get stuck into the bloke. You know, sort him out. And that can only come from Tony Mowbray, because the coach is the man who, you know, puts the bits and pieces together. We're going to play like this, we're going to pass it like this, and that's what he does. And hopefully they carry that out. But when it comes to that extra, you know, edge, you've got to get in people's heads, and for people who are not into sport, it makes no sense. You know, you're quite right. Oh, you'll get paid. If you're paid, what's it? You know, if you're paid X number of pounds, you should automatically do it. Now, a good example is Bakuna. You never know what he's going to do. His wages don't change every week, but his performance changes up and down, up and down, up and down. So somebody's going to get hold of him and say, we don't want that passive person that you were last week. We want the one the week before when you was kicking people and you know, being aggressive and so on, and want to make the opposition look stupid. You know what I mean? And we need somebody in the door that's going to do that. And I'd recommend Claire as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think thinking back to our last two wins against Sunderland and Blackburn at home, it was about game management as well for me. You know, Mowbray knows when to make the subs at the right time, and he brought the subs on against Blackburn and against Sunderland, and he won us the game.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right. Yeah. I couldn't work out what Saturdays was all about, to be honest.
This is why we need him back. So it's, you know, it's not just it's not just about the players on the pitch, it's about the decisions on the touchline as well, and in-game management. And obviously Venus, bless him, he's doing his best, and he'd probably be the first to say he's not a manager. So this is why I'm thinking as well, we desperately need Tony back for that as well.
Yeah.
So
I think he got it wrong. I think the way the subs were put on at the end, as Claire said, with Hall at right back, they sort of got on the pitch and then looked around at themselves and said, well, what am I supposed to be doing? And they took Drame off, and so I said, you better go right back. He hadn't actually thought it through. He wanted firepower up front, but he forgot he'd got to take defenders off to make room for them, because he wasn't going to take any forwards off. He was kept piling them on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think we lack? I think we lack a lot of pace in our team. I think the tempo is really, really slow. We've been saying it for weeks. You watch them going up the field and they are just, even Watford, they weren't the best team in the world. They haven't got a manager either. And they were so quick. They moved the ball. They know where each other are going. We look like 11 individuals. We don't look like a team. We don't look like we play together. When we played against, Sunderland and that, we actually look like a team. We look so all over the place at the moment. I totally agree with you, Paul. I think JJ on the left is just not working. Not at all. No. I know I'll probably get slated, but why not try Hogan again?
Yeah,
I was going to say that.
We need a goal. Let's put Jay on the right, put Miyoshi on the left or something like that, and switch it up a little bit. Because Jay Sansfield half the time spends his time on the touchline anyway, running after lost causes. Yeah. Let's put Hogan in there. What have we got to lose anymore? Get Dixon, get somebody. Tyler Roberts isn't it for me. He's useless. With Burke, isn't he? But, there's no... I don't know what it is. We seem to... One day we play... thank goodness we won those two games, because Blackburn and Sunderland, by the way, because they might be season-defining games, the way it's going. But it frustrates me when they're going, come on, and we're going, number one, we paid our money to come. Number two, we're watching you. Number three, have some self-pride, because I don't see that. We're throwing the ball. A throw-in, I've never seen Blues with throw-ins be so bad. We don't throw it to somebody. Nobody wants the ball for throwing. That's how the goals have ended at the last two games. We've thrown it back in and we've gone backwards or to the side. When a coach, think, Mark, you might be able to agree, aren't you always told to throw it down the line to get rid of it? Because isn't it simple basics? It's like we pass the ball backwards behind somebody or to their feet. If you ever watch anybody else, it's in front of them so they can run onto it. And there's slight little things, I don't know whether it's confidence, I don't know, but it's so frustrating at the moment. And the thing is, though, is it going to get any worse? I mean, we are rock bottom at the moment. Thankfully, we got an international break and a few of them are going, but hopefully the ones that stay they need training. Maybe Rooney was right on one level. We don't have much balls, to be honest, because I'm not seeing any. The Sunjic, fair play to him, actually was one of the best players on the pitch because he broke it up and at least he was having a go. But all the others, we are so, weak. If you look at any other team, Millwall, even Watford, Ipswich, they're all built. They're strong. They look like they've had their protein. They look like they've been down the gym. We look like a bunch of 17-year-olds for that weedy. We're getting hit off the ball left, right and centre. Half of our players are below 5'5", as they're tiny. And if you see everybody else is Jukovic built in any way. And no wonder we're not scoring any goals from corners, because when we launched the ball into the box, we got Buchanan in there and Awu as our two centre-halves. I don't get it. We need to do more work down the gym and build a little bit. We've got Miyoshi, who they all look really weedy to me, and I don't know whether. Do you know what I mean? They need to get some protein in them.
Claire, I watched Leeds and Millwall yesterday afternoon. That was a man's game. That was exactly what you're saying. Millwall were not beaten easily. They stood up and had a go, and they were literally brick outhouses. And the Leeds players were the same. you got a 6'3", the guy that scored a goal against us, Katanga, and the lead centre forward is what's his name, 6 foot plus, and it was a battle. And we don't see that amongst our team. We can play nicely, but there's no. Well,
we get bullied, don't we? We just get bullied.
We do get bullied.
We've got people around the club on a match day that know what it's like. You know, that they know what it's like to put that blue shirt on, and they know what it's like to go out there and fight with that blue shirt on. You know, you got Ian Clarkson, you got Paul Devlin in hospitality, microphones. You know, Martin O'Connor's still involved with the club. You know, let's get some of these lads in the dressing room with the players before the game and get, and start laying into them a bit and getting them to, fired up a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Imagine Daisy in there.
Well, yeah, there's yes.
Why isn't he in there?
Daisy's still on
the changing room.
Yeah, get Daisy in there. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I wouldn't even be against him getting involved. With on a match day in the meantime.
Yeah, can you imagine that?
I'd love
brilliant.
That.
Why isn't he? He's on the payroll, yeah. Why isn't he?
Yeah.
That's where we lack our leadership, right? That's where we lack. We talk about it every week. We lack our leadership, and we certainly lack leadership on the pitch. We talk about Mowbray and everything else and all that sort of stuff, but when the 11 players, I know as a coach, once the players go on the pitch, it's down to them. Then I can encourage and share what I think, but I can't change the game.
No.
We don't have that. We don't have the Robos. We don't have those type of players that will get these guys together and go, we need this. We need to put our boot in. We need to do this. We need to do that. We don't have that anymore. We've not had that for years, have we? No. Not on. No. Probably we said it before. Probably since Robbo and Morrow and people like that and Daish. We've not really had a standout leader that you go, man, that guy in there gets people together and does the job.
Yeah.
I watched Millwall against us, and you see it. You see a few of their players like just really getting into each other, saying, this is the last minute, it's a corner. They're getting into each other, getting themselves ready. We don't have any of that.
Yeah, no. But you could, I like my 1-2-11s and putting teams together and all that from over the years, and I bet you could put a bloody good 1-2-11 together of players that have wore the captain's armband at St Andrews.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
You could do that straight away, couldn't you? You'd have Daishi and Bruce at the back probably, wouldn't you? Or Cunningham, you know what I memean? And
Stephen Carr.
Got to say, the message board has been absolutely mental.
I was just coming to that, Craig, actually.
Yeah.
What are people on board with what we're saying, or is there differences?
Completely no. People are very much on board. People saying totally agree, need the leader on the field. Other people, if Mowbray's not back, then we talk about whether people should come in and whether it's the right thing. Some people that's very much 50-50 from what I'm seeing on the message board as to whether we take anybody else. Jim Toney summed it up. We're slow, ponderous and pedestrian. I think that, they're three words that you could sum up the past few games that we have seen. Anthony Lloyd, he's put on there that we made the wrong appointment in January. If it was down to him, he'd have had Rowett, Warnock or Cooper. And also Anthony, as vented, as we'll come on to in a minute, about Carter going from the ladies. But it's worth noting, the club went after Cooper. And if truth be known, Cooper was holding out for a Crystal Palace job or a Premier League job.
Yeah. He was never going to come.
I don't want somebody at my club that will not commit first time around. So if you don't commit now, you could sign, and in 6 months we could lose you because a Premier League club comes poaching. It's not on. So, we made the best appointment that we could at that particular point in time. And as we keep reiterating, if Tony Mowbray was well, I don't think we'd be in this position now.
He's a class manager at this level. Tony Mowbray is class.
We've got the right man. Yeah, we have got the right man.
We have got the right man.
I don't. Sorry, Mark. I don't only want to see him back just so that we're playing better on the pitch and we're going to start getting out of trouble. I also want to see him back to see him fit and well as well. And he's got over whatever it is he's going through treatment for.
Health comes before absolutely anything else. Health and family are number one.
Yeah.
And then no matter what the situation is, everything else is a mere third and lower. So at the end of the day, Tony, get well soon, and when you're back, you're back. But in the meantime, we've got 2 weeks now where that team have got to get together. They've got to, I'll be honest, I'm well racked off reading social media comments coming from the players. We're going to do this. We're up for it. Right? I'm not interested in seeing that on social media. Right? We have slated enough of our players for using social media and being vocal on there. Definitely. Forget that. Sod it all. I want to see it on the pitch.
Yeah,
I want to see it from the very first kick. Yeah. Don't tell me.
Well, I think this is my fear right here is that, we just said that we don't get the results. And, something that Craig said earlier about, Sheffield Wednesday and us being probably better than them on paper. Now, I look at it like this. Sheffield Wednesday were 10 points behind us 4 or 5 weeks ago. They're 1 point behind us now. They beat us and they played us off the park.
Yeah.
We have put ourselves in this mess by not gaining results. There was times when we were 6-9 points ahead of this bottom three. And there was times when we were 1 and 2 points, and now we're only goal difference. We have ourselves to blame on that. And I think, honestly, right now, we're apart from Rotherham, because they're probably doomed already, we are the worst team in the league.
We are. In current form, we are.
In black and white, yeah.
That's where my fear is. And I don't agree with the Mowbray one. I think the Mowbray one was a great appointment. And again, get well soon to him, because I think when he comes back, he can change his stuff. But it's been one thing after another this season. But the problem is when we look over it for 5 years now, it's been the same. So we can't keep making the same excuse that, this season, this happened. We have not been above that bottom 4 or 5 in the last 5 years. And we've been to last games of the season having to win. We've been to scraping out because of point deductions for other teams. Like, we can't continue to do that year after year after year and get away with it.
No, it's almost like two different things, isn't it? Because now we're being run by people that care. We're being run by people who know what they're doing, off the field. But then on the field, it seems to be even worse than what it was previously, you know what I mean, before they came. Even, it's much worse than last season now, isn't it? So, we were favourites to go down last season, and John Eustace did a damn good job, getting us safe by, how many games did we have left when we were safe last season? About 5 or 6, was it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good for the games.
But Dan Nash, I can't agree with you anymore, Dan. It's, let me tell you now, if we lose against Preston, no one will give I'll say monkeys instead of what he's put about UB40 being there. It could be the emptiest gig they've ever played at.
To be honest, Paul, 1 in 10 could be our points tally at the end. Last 10 games.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You had to get that in there, didn't you? Well done, Mark.
You know you've started now, don't you, Mark?
I think the positive...
better than the game, honey.
Yeah, go on, Claire.
The one thing that's a positive is we are still above it. And it's still technically in our own hands because, okay, we're above it on goal difference. But, Sheffield Wednesday took a massive knock on theirs. Huddersfield, thankfully, West Brom did us a favour the other day. And I just think at some point we've been saying this for ages. Hopefully at some point it will click. Hopefully at some point we're going to give someone an absolute battering. We're still waiting for that time. And hopefully it'll be an away game because I can't do another away season with only 4 wins or less.
Yeah.
I just think, they need to decide their best team. And the amount of injuries that we get is just ridiculous now. Like, how many years have we had so-and-so's injured for ages? Like, Anderson, it's like they go onto a desert island and get left there because we never hear anything about them. Like, Anderson, do you know what? If he was fit, I would have played him on Saturday because what's the worst that can happen? I don't think he's actually done anything wrong. I thought against Leicester, he was sensational. Anderson was. Yeah. I thought he's one of the best players on the pitch. And then all of a sudden, they're gone. Oh, they're injured. Oh, okay, what's wrong? Oh, 2 weeks, they're out. They're always out for 2 weeks. And then we're waiting 3 months later. That's our problem. Where are they? What are they doing? Is there a problem behind the scenes? Is it that they're not... I don't know, because is it now the medical people that are telling us it's 2 weeks, but then it's 3 months? With Jukovic, we'll get told 2 weeks. and then he'll be out for the rest of the season.
I don't think we'll see him again.
There's something that doesn't correlate with me. Like Anderson's been out for ages. Dembele's hurt his toe and this had to have stitches. I mean,
all through my life, going down there and supporting them, it's always been the same. You can go back as far as like Paul Furlong, and Paul Furlong was a great striker for us when he played. David Dunn and players like that, and Forsell even as well was one of probably the best striker I've ever seen down there. But my God, we couldn't keep him on the pitch for long, could we? He had that season on loan and fired in the 17 goals, and then the next season we signed him, and we just couldn't get him on the pitch properly, could we, for any length of time?
Sorry, Craig. By the way, Robe, you've really started things off because Red State said, "Stay off the red wine." Ray Hobro says, "Please don't make me cry." Des Fox is definitely food for thought. We've also got Paul Heath has said that there's food for thought with everything we're talking about. Our players don't care. Most are being kicked out in the summer, and a couple are on loan. That was from Bill Mint.
Yeah, could have something there.
Well, Andy Banner says he's looking forward to the gig more than he is the game. Ray Obro has then said if it happens again, he's leaving. There's a few here that have really gone on. But I mean, there's Warren Wazza. Apparently, Anderson refused a move in January and has then been frozen out since. Well, I don't think it was a case of refusing a move. Number one, as I understand it, they couldn't meet the salary that he wanted. Number two, every player has a right to say, no, I don't want to go anywhere and I want to fight for my place. Now, for me, as Claire said, if he's injured, okay, he's injured. But if he's not, then he should be working his backside off. Gary Gardner, come on the pitch. Didn't show me anything. I know it's only a short period, but he should be breaking his back.
Craig, he hasn't done that for years. He only scored that wonder goal against West Brom, and that's all he did last season.
Yeah.
There's loads of different things that we've got to look at. And then one thing that is hugely, hugely lacking, I know we've covered it, but we haven't got a leader. We just need somebody to be out there. And the very first thing they do is put their foot in, get the crowd behind them, and make sure that those other players on the pitch know they're not just there to play football, but you ain't getting past me. No matter what they do, every player should be saying, you're not getting past me. Whether they're putting the foot in, whether they foul, they've got to do it.
Sorry,
can I just say, go on, Paul, carry on.
I'm just going to say, even without the leader on the pitch, if we can improve on two things, cut out the schoolboy errors and put the ball in the back of the net, do you know what I mean? Then we could start to climb away even without the leader if we can sort those two things out. But yeah, sorry,
the attempts is fine. We just can't get them on target. The attempts is ridiculous. Remember the one time, was it like 90 attempts and then we never scored and then we scored loads?
What about Leicester?
This time, how many attempps?
72 before we scored against Blackburn.
Yeah, you might as well have none, though. If you don't put it in the net, you might as well have none, mightn't you?
Might as well not bother you.
Yeah.
I sit here and I go, you know what? Go back to base. If I'm looking at Friday now as the coach.
Picture the scene. All of your mates around. You've got your McNugget share boxes ready to go. Partner this with your team playing champagne football. Perfect. Order McDelivery now on the McDonald's app. There's nothing quite like a McDelivery. At participating restaurants, 18 plus, serving times, delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
I go back to basics. 4-4-2. Two up top. Stansfield needs somebody to play off anyway. So regarding if that's Duke, if he's not injured, or Hogan or Anderson or whoever it's going to be. Two up there to play. Two banks of four behind so that we've got 8 players behind the ball when we lose it. And just go back to basics because Birmingham City do the basics good. We've done the basics good for years and years and years, right? We're not a quality team. And we've not had a quality team for so long. Just be very basic with them and say, listen, this is it. You're in 2 banks of 4 with your 2 up top. Let's get the ball in the box. When we lose the ball, make sure that everybody's behind the ball. So we're defending with 8 players and just give it a go like that because QPR is going to come out with confidence. They're at home. They need the win just as much as we do. Let's frustrate them when they have the ball and then let's go and just, catch them when we win it. And you don't have to score these super goals that everyone talks about. Just get the ball in the box and get it in the goal, right?
Yeah, it's almost not cool now, isn't it, to play 4-4-2? It's almost like we're trying to be something that we're not, if you know what I mean. And it's been like that all season, all this rolling it out from the keeper and,
it's like a template, isn't it?
Well, that's the issue. The game has changed so quickly, and coaches are starting to now go against each other with these different formations and all this sort of stuff, and nobody really goes back to the simple game that we used to have before. And everyone keeps saying, the fans want to see pretty football. They want to see this. I want to see a win.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a 1-0 win or a 5-0 win or whatever. I want to see a win. And right now, this pretty football's not getting us anywhere.
Exactly.
So get your players on that can do the basics. Get your players on that put your foot in and win the ball when we don't have it. Get the Djukovic's and people like that up top. Get it into their head and we'll do it. It's kept us up before, and we've got nothing to lose now with who plays in the team, because week in, week out, we change the team around and it doesn't work. Like the Dembele one, for instance, he said he doesn't defend properly. And then all of a sudden he's broke his toenail and he's out for 5 weeks, right? It's like they freeze him out. That for me, if Dembele is fit, stick him on one of the wings. You don't really need him to defend too much, but get him on the ball and get him to get the balls crossed. Pritchard when he's fit, get the ball in the box. I think Stansfield with Hogan or Anderson, or I'd love to see Duke, but I don't think I'm with Mark. I don't think we'll see Duke again this year.
Sorry, Mark. Do you think we'll ever see him again?
I don't think we will. I think he's probably done his ACL, honestly.
As sad as it is, his Blues days might be over.
I think he's done his ACL, and I think that's a year. If he's done his ACL, he's got to have surgery. That's a year before he gets back, and I don't think they offer him a new contract from there. So.
No. All the best teams I've ever seen in my life down the Blues played 4-4-2. All the best teams I've seen in football in my life played 4-4-2. Leicester City won the Premier League in 2016 playing 4-4-2. So it can still be effective in the game. The last time we did it, Lee Bowyer first came in for 11 games, I think it was. Lee Bowyer kept us up, didn't he, playing it? And then he went back to the 5 at the back the next season, and we struggled, but he had a really good run when he first came in and playing due to his strengths in that 4-4-2. And then before that, it was Gary Monk, wasn't it? The season with Gary Monk, and that was a great season as well. Yeah. So, for me... Yeah, go on, Claire.
We need the high intensity, though, I think. I think we miss the high intensity. When we play high intensity, we seem to do okay. But I think whatever formation you've got to have someone near to Jay Stansfield. He's on his own half the time. Like Middlesbrough marked him totally out of the game. They played 5 at the back. Literally, it was 3-on-1 half the time. James hasn't got the pace. Miyoshi's not really got the pace either. We haven't got a pacey attack when we had Dembele one side and Anderson the other, and all of these, that you need some pace in it. But Craig, did you go to the women's game?
I didn't go to the ladies' game because the youngest wasn't 100%. However, I watched it on the TV, and as disappointing as the men's game's been, that the ladies just couldn't break down a stubborn Blackburn team yesterday. In fact, their goalkeeper, I think, was just absolutely outstanding. She just put a brick wall in front of everything. But there's been a lot of comments on the board as well, actually, around the ladies' game and asking, is that season over now? Is that everything done? The answer is no. We are 2 games in hand over the rest of the teams in the league. Got those games coming up, starting with Reading on Wednesday evening. And if we can win both of those games in hand, it puts us back into the contention of where we want to be. There is only one team promoted. That team at the top of the league was Sunderland at the weekend, still is, but they got beat by Lewis, and Lewis are fighting for their lives to stay in the league. So it's absolutely anybody's. And as we go into this coming weekend, I just want to say to everybody, right, the ladies need our backing as much as the men. There is no men's game this weekend. Every season ticket holder gets a ticket for free, right? So if people want to go Sunday, 2:00, Lewis down at St Andrews, we need the backing. Let's get behind the ladies and help them. And hopefully after Wednesday, a positive result gets us further into those pushing for a promotion situation. But yesterday was just an example of couldn't finish, and that was it. They did everything else all over Blackburn. I can't actually recall them having a shot on goal in the whole of the game, but we just couldn't put anything else away. In terms of what's going on, this also leads into a few other pointers that have been raised on the board. So I'll just shout out now. There's been questions asked around Blues Matters. What was it all about? I know myself and Claire, when we attended, we covered off on the evening what we'd heard. I can say things have progressed. We've all got actions that we've took away, and that things are being worked on. There was also another question around the open house. Why has it gone quiet? Why is nothing happening? It is happening. It's happening next month, and invites are going out, I believe, any time from today to those people that will be involved. Can say that there will be invites for the official supporters clubs. There will be invites for those people that have attended the Blues Matters. There will be a selection of random fans that are called out to go. Not just that. Claire mentioned it anyhow, but when we get into the Blues Matters evening, the one thing that they were very, very clear on was anybody that expressed an interest will be involved, whether that's an invite to this one coming or whether that's an invite to further open houses. But people will be involved. So these things are happening. There's a lot that's gone on at the club over the past few weeks. I'll come on to the official sports club in a minute, but basically, rest assured, there are things happening in the background. The open house is coming in the next few weeks, and watch out for invites. If you've expressed an interest, then you're on that list of things. So let's not take the negatives from what's happening onto the field back into the club. It's not worth it. There's a lot of stuff going on. This club is very positive. This club's on the up. Despite what's happening on the field, the rest of it is on the up. There are going to be massive things happening in the summer. And I think that's what we've all got to wait and see.
I think that's what the open house as well. We're not, whoever goes isn't a miracle worker. Whoever goes isn't going to change what they think just because they've told us different things. The main thing I said at the Blues Matters was we can do whatever we like for the men's match day. If the football's not good on the pitch and we're not winning games, we're losing already. Yeah. So, the people that are involved, we care and we're trying. And just because if we get invited to the open house, there seems to be a thing about, why don't the people at the open house ask these questions? If there was an open Q&A, I think there would be. Mm. And, and if I stand next to, if I Gary Cut next to me, I'll be asking him myself, what's going on?
Michael Woods,
we would try, but we couldn't.
Yeah. Just see Michael Wood's comment that Almagier has suggested that the open house is left until the season ends to see where we are. No, they've started. They've got to continue. What happens on the field should be on the field. It shouldn't affect anything else. There's also...
Sorry, Craig. What about the Players' Awards? Surely we're not going to be going to the Players' Awards the day after the last game against Norwich if we've just been relegated the day before.
Well, those things are to be there, but at the end of the day, I know you don't want to celebrate a relegation, but I don't want to talk about a relegation. We're not relegated.
No, and I'm just saying it.
24 points. We'll get 15.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
I've still got a faint hope for the playoffs, to be honest.
Yeah, you never know, do you? What's going to happen in football? It's the hope that kills you. And as a Blues fan, come on, we've been here before. We're here again. Nothing will change. We'll be 17th.
I hate to be so negative as well, but at the end of the day, I think that's what's making me more frustrated, and other people as well, is the fact that actually we're getting somewhere now with the ownership and the club's going in the right direction off the field. And we're getting bloody worse on it at the same time. So I think the reason why I'm getting anxious about it is because if we can survive this season, then I'm really excited for the future, from the summer onwards. I really am, because I think we'll see big changes on the field as well as off it, from next summer. But we've just got to get through this storm, haven't we, to the end of the season? But sorry, Al, you was going to...
I was going to ask a question about the ladies' team. I watch them every week. I can, and over the season, it's taken me a long time to get to know the players. Well, I put on yesterday. I didn't recognise anybody. Who were these people? You know, there must have been 7 or 8 changes from the last time we played, and we lost that. You know, where's Fuso? Where's well, I can't remember her name. The girl we signed from Villa who got all the goals last year. Where's she? You know,
injured is the answer, Al.
Are they all injured?
Yeah, Fuso was taken in a brace. Jade Pennick, who's your top scorer from last season, she's been out injured for a few weeks, but on her way back. They've taken a spate and a proper kicking. But I think, you know, one person that made their debut or debut for the second time actually for the club, Rebecca Holloway, was actually player of the match on Sunday, and she was phenomenal. So you know, it's again, there was 7 changes, but these are injuries. There's none of the swapping and changing that we tend to see in the men's game. You very rarely see it in the ladies, but it's just hitting us hard at the moment. But the one thing I can say is they are all good enough. And, you know, players that we came off the bench with, so Charlie Devlin, you know, he's phenomenal.
She's regular. I recognise that name.
Yeah. One person who doesn't speak much on this show is obviously yourself, Chris. I just want to get your thoughts on everything at the moment. Where's your head at with it all?
Can I just say I've been running a poll actually on the chat box. At the moment, it's running at 35% say yes, Blues will go down, and quite a big 65% say no. So do you think that's about right?
But well, it depends if Tony's back or not for me. Yeah. If Tony's back, if Tony's not back, I disagree. If he's back, I agree.
Yeah. The
one overriding thing coming up.
If we stay the way it is right now, I think we'll get relegated.
Really?
Something's got to change, and something's got to change quick for me. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the overriding thing coming out of the ground on Saturday for me. Everyone was just like, "That's it, we've gone." It's just so flat. It's it's unbelievable. But I'm not, like I say, I'm not going to press the panic button yet because I still think there's a lot of points to play for. But yeah, I'm still pretty much like Paul. If Tony isn't back, then I can see us going.
Yeah. There's actually no indication at the moment as to when he is
coming back.
That's
the worry, Chris. That's the worry, isn't it? There's
so nobody's going to say, is anybody going to say he's
nothing.
coming back next week or in 3 weeks' time or 4 weeks' time? Because in 4 weeks' time, that's going to be very squeaky bum.
Too late then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think I'd be interested to see the 65%. I'd be interested to see what makes them have that decision. Obviously, from the heart, you want to say they're going to stay up. But from my head, I don't see how we're going to stay up right now. Like you say, if it continues to where we are sitting here at this minute, after watching what we've just watched for the last week, I don't see us staying up. I don't see a way out of where we are unless the 3 teams that are below us right now continue to lose their games.
I do think that we do look a bit inward and we don't look at the opposition. If I said to somebody online, if we get out 8 points, which in a fat lot, that's 2 wins and a couple of draws, who's going to get 9? Who are Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday going to get 9? That's again, we're clutching at straws, but it's a more positive way of looking at things. If we get 8, somebody's got to get 9, and we haven't been spanked 6-0 by anybody, and we haven't been done 3-0 at home by anybody, and
Preston will hit.
Oh no.
You've cursed it now, Alan. There we go. 3-0 defeat against Preston. You beat Watford playing to 2 people.
When was that?
6-0 away at QPR.
No, I'm just saying you've cursed it now because you see the next game you've got at home.
What have you done, Al?
I can imagine us losing every game 1-0 between now and the end of the season, but I can't imagine that we won't win any. So if we win 2 games, that gives us 7 points more than the opposition. They've got to get 8.
So
We
just
need
to put it
50
into
points.
perspective, to put it into perspective, I've just pulled up Sheffield Wednesday's fixtures, right? And I look at Birmingham's and I look at theirs, and I know which one I prefer. So, so you're aware, Sheffield Wednesday have got to play Swansea at home on Good Friday. They've got to play Middlesbrough away, QPR away, Norwich at home, Stoke away, Blackburn away. Sorry, Stoke at home, Blackburn away, West Brom at home, Sunderland away. Now compare their fixtures to ours, and I'm sorry, we get more points than they do.
I'm more worried about them.
Blackburn's got a really tough. Blackburn's probably got the hardest fixtures.
I think they've got the hardest running. Yeah.
I wouldn't count them going down.
They still have the extra points right now. That's the thing. So we'd still have to gain points on them.
Isn't it a case though in this relegation scrap that you tend to raise your games against the harder teams?
Exactly, yeah. We need to put UB40 on before the pressing game and just get them to sing Don't Break My Heart.
Yeah. You could play them in midfield.
We need 50 points. That's it. I've been saying it all season. 50 points.
Yeah.
If you get 50 points, or as close as you can, that's how many points we've got? 38, 39, I can't remember. But literally, we need 3 wins, 3 or 4 wins, and I've been saying that for weeks. We just need to get to 50 points. We get to 50 points, we'll be fine.
So Huddersfield's fixtures, Coventry at home, Stoke away, Millwall at home, Preston away, Bristol City away, Swansea at home, us at home, last game of the season, Ipswich away.
They'll be on the beach then.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they might be fighting for that second place.
They might be fighting for that second space. I just look at, and I know we shouldn't be, as we always do, looking at other teams and what they are going to do. But actually, there's 2 teams there, I've read out, and I still think we'll get more points than them. I like I say, I'm forever the optimist, and I still can't see it. Those 65% of people that are voting against it just can't see it.
It won't be if we do stay up, though, from what you're saying there, Craig, if we do stay up, it'll be down to other teams, won't it? Not ourselves. And we need to, make the most of it ourselves while we've got the opportunity, surely, because it's still in our hands at the moment, isn't it?
Blackburn have by far got the worst for me running. So they've got Ipswich at home, Good Friday. Then they are playing Sunderland away. They're playing Southampton at home, Bristol City away, Leeds away, Sheffield Wednesday. Then they've got Coventry at home, and then last game of the season, Leicester away.
Wow.
So
if we had that, I would say we would be down. Yeah. I'm not going to lie, that is a running and a half. That's like what we had in October, November.
That's scary.
I'm going to say John Eustace could keep us up last season and this season.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, he hasn't had much for a good manager bounce, has he? I don't think he's won a game yet.
Well, he hasn't got a very good team. That's the problem.
Well,
it does help.
We can relate
They lost to us, for goodness sake. What does that tell you about?
So, what do we all think of the UB40 Blues song? That Forever. It's all right, isn't it? I
really catchy.
I don't do reggae, as you know, really. I'm not a big fan, but I actually quite like that. It's got me bopping my head.
I haven't heard it. What is it?
I haven't heard it.
I played it before the game.
You're not in the pub, are you, Claire, at 5 to 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Have you not heard it?
Queuing for a dirty fries at that point, normally.
I'm in the ground earlier than you, Craig, half the time.
What time do you come down to your seat? Then have you not heard it on the big screen, and heard it playing before the game?
I don't know, to be honest, Paul. I'm that depressed at the moment that I'm just about getting in. I'm too busy talking to everybody, hoping that we'll get a win, to be honest.
Yeah, they've basically done a sort of rendition of
Food for thought.
Food for thought. Yeah, and they've changed the lyrics a bit to make it a bit more blues themed. It's quite good.
Yeah,
I probably heard it.
Yeah.
I think it's called Forever Yours, and I believe Forever True. Thank you. And it's being released at the end of this month. I'm pretty certain it's the 29th that I've seen. but it's going to be released. But yeah, I agree. It's quite a catchy.
It's quite decent
song.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. So, but anyway, Mark Meredith, I think you wanted to play a new game, didn't you? Like a quiz. And we got a prize up for grabs, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah. Always got prizes.
So a little prize up for grabs. We're going to start doing a quiz from the previous episode. So what I want to know is, or what we want to know is, to have from our viewers only. Harley Dean last week chose his five-a-side team when Claire asked him during the quickfire questions. She asked him, you asked him, Claire, didn't you, to pick his all-time Blues five-a-side team from the players that he played with? And we want to know, who did he pick in goal? So who was chosen in goal by Harley Dean last week in his five-a-side team? Not his 1 to 11, his five-a-side team.
Yeah, and some of us got that wrong, and we watched it.
Yeah. Can you, Claire, don't say, obviously, just nod. Oh, Jason Hughes has won it straight away.
Oh, God, bloody hell.
Oh, Jim Tony was not far behind.
Yeah, all
Lee
very,
Taylor's
very
coming
quick.
as well. I think we made that one too easily.
Jason Hughes, well, because he spelt it properly. He's put an E in the true.
Right. Well done, everybody. Pretty good, pretty clever.
Yeah.
That was
Well, that means people have actually got to listen to what we've got to say now. That's a shame.
That was actually quicker than when we played squad number game with Mark Meredith, wasn't it, Mark?
It was, yeah.
I was waiting for squad numbers, really.
Mark's going to rubbish.
I think we need to make it harder for next week. We'll make it really hard for next week.
So what was the answer then?
For God's sake.
The next week's question is, throughout the whole of the show, find the most positive thing. But I just want to shout out, I mentioned earlier on about the official supporters clubs, right? So to give a highlight to everybody in terms of how this currently stands. So we currently have 38 official supporters clubs spread across the world. And they're now linked via, you'll see, Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter. So, please, if you are a fan, no matter whether it's season ticket, you don't have to be a season ticket holder or anything like that, but it's simple. Just reach out to the teams that you want to be part of. You don't have to live in the area to join the club. However, one of the aspirations is for all the groups to get together, to do charity events, to be there to just have a bit of a social with at times. So therefore, if you're living in Hall Green, then you join the Hall Green Club. If you're joining in Texas, you're joining the Texas one. Sussex, there's a Sussex group that's running that can all get together. So the aim is the supporters club is not just to get people together, but it's also to support and help where we can regarding tickets, regarding communications to the club. Feedback is key. So whether it be positive or negative, through those groups, spread the word, we get it to the club, it is listened to. The other thing is the fact that it's there to help raise money for the club themselves and their community trust. So whilst at the moment there are no fees for joining, as we go into next season, there will be some small fees, and I mean small for a season. Looking for like £5 to help run the actual clubs, and £5, maybe a little bit more, goes a long way. Then there's also the club themselves. So for a £5 amount going to them, £3 of that will go straight into that community trust. So we can, go and raise funds and help them straight away. There'll be fundraisers that goes on for that as well. You will see some Christmas events, some summer events, loads and loads of things to come across all the different groups, and nobody is doing the same thing. So rest assured, everything will change up as we go along. There'll be an official launch coming up in the near future where you'll be able to sign up, and it's plain and simple. Name, address details, Patreon number, so that we know you're part of the club. You don't have to be a member at the moment, though. If you're not, you can sign up and get a Patreon number at the same time. So it's all around us all coming together. As a guide, the people that are helping put this together are the people that also help Man City form theirs. And when they started theirs, they had around 35 clubs. They've now got over 300 spread across the world. So, and they even get fans travelling over for special events and stuff like that. So there's an awful lot to come. It's not just around saying who we are, it's about acting upon it. So it'll be a voice. So please, if you haven't joined up and you're interested, all the clubs are out there. Reach out to myself and I can give you details for the people in your areas, or the Facebook and Twitter groups to go and join. Get yourself involved. And, let's make this big, because this is for the future. This isn't for now or 6 months. This is for the next 3, 5, 10 years, if not more. So, get involved and we'll pass these details on. There's a great bunch as well involved. Ian Dancer is there from a celeb point of view and getting the word out from there. Suck, obviously, for those people that travel away, we'll always see Suck. He's always there. You can never miss him. Paul Delves as well. Paul's involved with all the away travel, and he's massively involved in this. And we've got other people across the board. So it's a proper split. Really good bunch. Yeah, it's just let's get this moving. And if you're interested, please give me a shout, and like I say, I'll put you in touch with people.
Craig, just to put you on the spot, I don't suppose you know where the closest supporters group would be to Cradley, Halzowen area?
I want to say that there is actually, I believe there might be a Halzowen group.
Right, okay.
But if not, then I can find out and I'll put the details up. But we've got there, so, in the immediate areas, there's quite a few. Solihull will be headed up by myself. And we can mention that Claire's going to be there to support me with that as well as we look to take this forward. But it doesn't just stop with us. It's about anybody that's involved. If there isn't a group in your area, it's easy to set one up.
You need to move to Solihull now, Claire. Claire, you need to move to Solihull now.
You can be wherever. There isn't one up this way because it's other people up this
territory.
Yeah, it's close
Is there a Coventry Blues from Rome as well?
There is a Coventry Blues, but I've actually had him banned.
What about a Dallas Blues as well?
In the process. We're in the process.
Somebody sent me a message from Texas today, and I thought it was you, and it wasn't somebody else. So you're not alone.
Mm. No.
Nice.
I got one from home base.
Your curtains are ready to be collected.
Mark's now going to join in loads and loads of different groups. He just doesn't realise he's going onto mailing lists.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So are we all in agreement then that if we are in charge of the next game and picking the next team for QPR, we all going 4-4-2?
I would. Absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's that survival tactic.
And I've got to say,
I'd play 13 players if I could, but
well, yeah. But
can I get away with it?
Presuming Djukovic is injured, I would bring Scott Hogan back and play him with Stansfield personally. And then I'd probably go, if Dembele is available, I'd go him down the left. I'd go for James and Sunic in the middle. And then down the right, I'd probably go Miyoshi and the same back four and goalkeeper. That'd be my team personally. And I think that could be effective. You got Sunic in the middle to win the ball, and you got James to, it's a bit like the old Brian Hughes and Martin O'Connor, isn't it? You got the one that gets forward, and you got the one that sort of like looks after the back four. So yeah, that's what I would do personally, but I still don't think for a second that he will. And if he doesn't, then we need to book our ideas up, don't we, in this system? I do like Paik Sung Ho, though. I will say that. What do you think, Claire? Do you like him? Yeah, he's quite good, isn't he? On the ball?
I generally think, give him 2 or 3 years, we'll be selling him for 15 million to another Premier League team. I rate him. I think he's brilliant. He actually puts his foot in as well. He's got a good eye for pass. He moves the ball well. I think he is probably one of the signings of the year for me. He's only played a few games. I think he puts his foot in. He's got a bit about him. It's just a shame that James can't move more into the middle. I would generally put James just behind Stansfield if I could. Or I'd even put... If he was going to keep it, I'd put Jay on the right, Miyoshi on the left, or Dembele, or whoever's fit. And I would probably even go with Hogan up. because he will work for you, Hogan does. If he's on form and if he's wanting it, we need a striker. And do you know what? Get as many on as possible. If it's not Jukovic, he's better than Tyler Roberts, isn't he? So
yeah, definitely, yeah. And he does go on. He does go on runs as well, doesn't he, Hogan? He gets like 16, 7, and then he'll dry up them for the next 15. But you know, we've only got 8 games to go, so let's give him a run.
Give him a chance. He's a goal scorer at this level. You know, if you get him firing, if he scores a couple, he might keep us up.
Exactly.
Okay, he might not do that, but I'd rather him come on than Tyler Roberts come on, who can't hit a barn door or passes it to the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes, you know, annoys me.
Bring Bert back.
Yeah. Lilypad's asking me if I'd still have Iwood in the team. Absolutely, I would, yeah. I thought, apart from the mistake, which I thought, you know, he was kind of put in that situation a little bit from the throw as well. He had a really good game, and I was really pleased with him at Hull as well. And I thought he was okay against Middlesbrough as well, to be honest. I don't think he's done a lot wrong.
Sorry, Paul, would we sign him? Would you sign him?
It depends what the ambition is in the summer, really. Probably not.
Not for $3 million. No way. If you've got Pritchard for 100 grand, you've got Laird for 1 point. Was it? How much was Laird? 750, was he?
700,000.
Less than a million, wasn't it?
And mate, you probably could get him for $1 million. There's no way Ayewood's worth $3 million. That's 3 players that we could buy for him. No.
No. But I do like him though. I think him and Buchanan have formed a decent partnership. You know, and Buchanan at centre back is really good, isn't it? And it gives us that balance, doesn't it, with the left foot and the right foot as well.
Would you bring Billick back?
It's either him or Son, isn't it, in the middle? Or you could have him. You could have him and Sonic, obviously, like we did in the past. But you know, would you still have Paik Sung Ho in there? But that's in the 4-2-3-1 again, isn't it? So
I'd avoid playing Bielik at the back again. Those days are finished, I think.
Yeah. We got a message from someone called Jamie. Craig, do you want
to? Jamie, don't worry. I'll pick up after the show. I've got your details.
Yeah.
No worries.
There's a few people wanting to get involved in the OSC now, aren't there, Craig? Yes.
There are, and you know, thank you for those people that have reached out so far. So what I would say is, if you are interested, drop me a note away from the message board, and what we'll do is I'll get back in touch with you, and we'll get all the details across in regards to how you can join up, etc. And I can confirm there is a Hales Owen group, so I do have the details for that as well, Chris.
Yeah,
Chris, when are we next back after tonight? Because I know it's obviously international break, and then it's bank holiday, and we obviously play in Preston.
Yeah, I'm not too sure at the moment. I don't think we'll be next week. We'll see if there's enough people want to do the bank holiday. I don't mind, or even on the Tuesday. We'll see.
After the Tuesday, because Blues play on the Monday, don't they, against Preston?
Yeah. So
The Tuesday's my birthday.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Another birthday.
Have a party for you.
When's your birthday? April Fool's Day.
I don't think Mum and Dad had the heart to tell me, to be honest.
Yeah. Paul, remember last week we had a question lined up for Harley? Who?
Yeah. We did indeed.
Shall I play it and see if anybody can get it? I mean, we know it, but
with all the excitement of obviously and getting carried away, chatting away with Harley last week, we forgot to do the who. So this is a player who I put together, who I can't even remember his name. So if you want to play it? I'm joking. I'll know who it is as soon as I hear it. So yeah, can anyone guess who this is that played with Harley D?
bit of music first.
What a moment. How good did that feel?
I don't think Jason Long match when they go together very well. Yeah. That's something that would be nice to change. But yeah, it was as soon as I hit it, I knew it had a chance. And when I seen it was on target and it flew in, it was an unbelievable feeling with it being a match win. Obviously, it's a goal I'll remember for.
Any ideas? I'll give you all a clue. Harley mentioned his name. At some point during last week's show, Harley mentioned the guy's name.
This should have been the question.
Yeah.
Emir Hughes, Pete Taylor, that's not, no, he didn't play with Harley.
No.
Mahoney, no. Omar Bogle, no.
A lot of people commented on last week's show, Paul, as well, and that, on how good it was. It was an exceptional show.
Really good.
And a great guest.
It's a good one when you forget to do the who.
Yeah, we just never had time. We just didn't have time. Conor Mahoney, McFadden, Brian Howard, Torrell, Mark Roberts, Kieft.
But just to clarify that this player played with Harley for Blues.
Yeah.
And think about, and is he English?
Yes.
Because Terrell's Spanish.
Did he not comment?
Keith Bell's not English.
Wasn't he one of Harry Redknapp's batch of players that came with Harley? Yeah, I thought. Yeah, okay, no, it is now.
Okay.
Yeah. But no,
it's not Jonathan Grimes.
Oh, see, that was a good question. That was. If anybody can get it before the end of the show, you'll get a special prize. There we go.
Yeah. There we go. So are we going to do predictions then, considering we're not back before QPR and Preston?
Yeah, let's do them quickly. We've got 5 minutes. Yeah. I'll keep an eye
go on. Go on then, Claire, you go first.
Hasn't someone got it on the message board?
I was going to say, I think we've got a winner.
Oh, yeah, Tom Richardson.
Tom Richardson.
Oh, well done.
Well done, Tom.
Who was it?
Well done, Tom.
Who was it?
Oh, Mark Meredith, though. No, let's not tell him.
Yeah, Mark Meredith, you're going to keep going, mate. The message board.
It was Jason Lowe, Mark.
Who?
Jason Lowe.
Who?
I know, yeah.
Yeah, well done, Tom. I'll message you after the show or later on tonight. Or
2 prizes Chris has got to give away this week.
I know, way.
Stay there.
I knew I'd get rid of them bugs.
We've had some good guests. We have had a few good guests this season, haven't we? Michael Morrison was good as well, wasn't he? When we had Michael on a few weeks ago as well. That was a good show. And you can obviously catch up, and anyone listening, please do subscribe to our channel as well on YouTube. And you can catch up with all the old shows and everything. And Chris, you've been putting on some classics as well, haven't you?
Yeah. I've just started a classic section as well. So, and I've put, I think there's about 10 up so far. So I'll keep adding those, because we have got a hell of a lot of classic shows, including last week's, which is it's got to be added.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Barry Fry always comes to my mind, and
that was fantastic.
Brilliant.
That was fantastic show.
Yeah, and then ones during the lockdown as well. When it was just myself and Nick, and we had. That was a really good. It was a bad time, but it was a good time, if you know what I mean, because we managed to get quite a lot of special guests, didn't we, at that time? So
Marcelo in his car.
I know. Yeah, I listened to that.
Granger, we had Brian Hughes. We had a lot of my heroes. Robbie Savage. Yeah, that was another standout show. Anyone that's been starting to watch the show recently, obviously, do look back, because Robbie Savage was a brilliant guest.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and the Granger one as well. There was a lot of controversial stuff, on that. And that
was a fantastic.
And if you want to have a laugh, you can't beat Paul Tate and Ricky Otto.
Ricky
Kevin Francis, Liam Ridgewell. God, the list is endless.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There is some good ones to watch.
Ricky and the Doobies.
It's always good when you're on a long. They're always good when you're on a long journey, aren't they, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, and there's a lot of audio podcasts on there now as well. So if you're on the go and you don't want to watch our faces, because we are pretty ugly, you can listen to it on your podcast platform.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so let's go around the room then. Predictions.
Okay,
Claire.
For what? I think, I'm hoping we win at QPR, because I'm going. I'll take a 2-1 win at QPR.
Is that what you think?
I'll take a 1-1.
Okay. 1-1. Okay, yeah. Mark Meredith? No shirts behind you there.
Oh, I don't even realise my background had changed, but okay. I'm going to go a 1-0 loss at QPR, and I'm going to go 1-1 against Preston.
Okay. Is that Peter Crouch's shirt, by the way, behind you?
Yeah, that's Crouch's shirt in the Premier League, one of his match shirts when he played for Stoke.
What else he got there? Who's that next to him?
FC Dallas and Bayern Munich.
Don't tell me on the next flight.
That'll be our next question.
Go on, Alan, you go next, mate. You was going to say something anyway, weren't you? Sorry.
No, I was just wondering about what we were predicting. Okay. Yes. I just remind you that Chung got the winner against QPR last year. Before I say, I think we got another 1-0, and Preston. I think we are them big time after that match at Preston, and I think I'll go mad to say 2-0.
Okay, yeah. Craig.
I'm going to echo what the chairman's just said. Actually, I think we'll get a very close and sneaky 1-0 down at QPR, and then we'll beat Preston 2-0, and pull ourselves away from this troublesome area.
We're not conceding a goal in 2 games.
Well, we're due, aren't we?
Seriously.
And I reckon Brazil will beat England, followed by Belgium beating England. There's my other predictions.
What? Right.
I think I'll be hard pushed to see us win at QPR. I'm going to say 1-1 at QPR. And I think we'll draw again against Preston. I think we'll have 2 draws.
Okay. Absolutely love the New England shirts, by the way. That purple one is unreal. Amazing. Anyway, so Chris?
I can't see us winning at QPR. I think they're going to pack it out, aren't they, with their home fans? Apparently, they're just giving tickets away.
First time for everything.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a narrow loss, 1-0 at QPR. But I think Blues Preston. I think we'll win. I think we'll win 2-0. We've got to win that game.
We had to win the last 2 games, didn't we?
Yeah.
Chris, Dennis Bohemia is asking, can Road be sacked?
Pardon?
Why? What have I done?
just turning up, apparently. I mean, that's no other reason given.
I agree with that one.
I'm sitting
Hang on a minute. This is predictions, not my fate on the line.
I predict that Roby's going to be sacked. There we go.
Me too.
They haven't given us the lower, have they, this time?
No, they're going to put. They're going to put their own
very
fans
rarely
in.
do these days.
They're going to put their own fans
last year was brilliant, but I think they're going to try and make it so there's not many of us. To be fair,
Can I ask a question, please?
No.
You know the UB40. Is it who's actually staying out of a slot? Is anyone actually staying, or
depends on the result?
If we win 6-0, I'm still going home.
6-0.
I have a special match on Thursday night. My best mate, who I have coffee mornings with, can't drink anymore, is Welsh, and my wife, as you know, is from Finland, and they're playing each other on Thursday night. So I'm going to fancy the Taffs to beat them, actually, because they don't travel well, the Finns, this time of year. But that's going to be very interesting, and I'm sticking up for Jamesy over the missus.
We're sticking up for Mikael Forsell at Finland, we.
And there we go. It's all over.
I'm just going to quickly have my predictions. I think, hopefully, to God, that we see Tony back at QPR. If we do, I think we'll draw 1-1 and we'll beat Preston 2-1. If we don't, then I'm afraid to say I think we'll lose 2-1 at QPR and draw 1-1 with Preston.
Okay.
And that is a wrap, innit?
It's a wrap.
Okay. Well, you've been watching the Tilton Talk Show, everyone. Thanks for everyone's time watching. And it's a good night from me, and it's a good night from Mark Adams.
Good night from me, and it's a good night from Mark in America.
Thanks, friend. It's a good night from me, and it's a good night from Alan Watson.
And it's a good night from me, and it's a good night from the one and only Claire Gibney.
Thanks, Alan. That was lovely. It's a good night from me, and it's a good night from Solihull supports God, Craig Courtney.
I like that intro, but it's a good night for me, and it's finally, last but not least, over to Chris Browne.
Am I at the end? Because I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. And it's a good night from me. Good night.
Oh, it's gone yet? Get rid of that road.
No, have a half.
I'm already getting the bench stick, so it's down the road.
I need to wash my feet, actually.
I feel sick.
4-4-2, lump it up. The Blues are staying up. 4-4-2, lump it up. The Blues are staying up. That's a good time, isn't it?
You've got to be optimistic.
What
Win
have
the
you
league
cost?
next year, be in the Premier League in 4 years' time.
Yeah.
Only they have a bus pass then.
As long as it's not a mega bus.
What Adams will be on parole then?
Wow. That's the
Don't
plan,
forget to
Craig.
empty that bucket, Adams. Don't forget to empty it.
I'll wash my feet in first.
I'll give you the mop for that.
Away days are great, but there's nothing quite like playing at home. The same goes for McDonald's. Maximise your home ground advantage with McDelivery. Order now on the McDonald's app. At participating restaurants, 18 plus, serving times, delivery fee and terms apply. See mcdonalds.com.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.